welcome. My name is Ashley. I am from Soaring Sparrow Healing. I wanted to jump on here and talk a little bit more in around my medicine woman healing work that I do and what it is, what it entails, and essentially how I can help you on your healing journey. So, with my medicine woman healing, and the reason why I chose to call it a medicine woman healing is because I work with so many different modalities and trainings that I've had over the years that I couldn't really pin it down to just one thing. So I was really struggling with what do I call this healing, because it's a combination of everything. So what is a medicine woman healing, and what is the main work that I do, and I guess most importantly, how is it that I can help you on your healing journey? So what I have the opportunity to do is to really help you understand what is going on for you at this particular moment. And when you're starting on your healing journey, it can feel very overwhelming. You tend to have a lot of emotions that will come up for you because we're peeling back layers of stuff that's happened to us in our past or past lives, and it can be very overwhelming and really stressful and extremely emotional, speaking from experience. And I guess something that's really important, when I know I've mentioned this before, but something that's really important is for you to feel connected to the person that's going to be helping you on your healing journey. Now, I am here to help facilitate that healing. I do say that I am a healer, but I can't heal you. Okay, you have to do the work. You have to be willing to do the work. I'm here to help facilitate and help you understand what is coming up for you and how to understand that and how to remove those blocks and how to move past it. So I'm just a conduit. I help you on that healing process. Now, something that is really important to understand. Healing is not all about the fluffy, let's meditate, let's be all like, whoo, enlightened. Sorry to burst your bubble on that one. And I guess as a healer, if you're listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Doing the healing work and going on this journey, it is about looking at your shadow side. It's about looking at those things that we have tried to hide for years and years and years, things that we have buried deep within inside ourselves, parts of ourselves that we don't really like to look at because it's hard, it sucks sometimes, and it is sometimes people want to keep those parts of themselves hidden and buried, and that's when we then start to see what I relate to and what a lot of Aboriginal cultures will relate to and shamans will relate to as soul sickness. Okay? And that is because some people just don't want to do that work. They don't want to look at it because it's very painful and it's really hard. Yes, so as a healer, what my job is to help uncover those parts of yourself and help you be able to ease those really hard emotions that come up for you, and be able to help create a safe environment for you to be able to explore those without re-traumatizing yourself. And I think that's really important when you're doing any type of shadow work. And the last thing that I want for you is to put you back into a situation where you are feeling that it is extremely overwhelming and it's really hard and you're essentially re-traumatizing yourself. That's the last thing that I want to do. Okay? What I want to do is I want to help you understand those emotions, understand the root of where those emotions are coming from, to be able to understand what those blocks are and to be able to move forward with your life. Okay? Shadow work is very, very important, and I cannot stress that enough, because if we're not willing to look at those core issues and those core things that are happening for yourself, you essentially just kind of hit a bit of a roadblock and things will keep happening and that soul sickness will keep creeping in. Okay? So, as a medicine woman, what do I do? What does the treatment actually look like for you? So first thing that I do when you come in to see me is I like to welcome you into the space. I've got a beautiful little healing room set up here just outside my house on my property, which is absolutely fantastic. And so welcoming you into the space, first thing that we do is we do a clearing. Okay, so I welcome you in, we do a smudge. Smudging is really powerful because it actually releases any negative attachments that are sitting within the aura, and anything that's been a bit stressful throughout the day, and it just allows you to clear away that debris that's essentially sitting with you, and allows you to actually feel welcome and safe in the space. So once I welcome you into the space, the first half an hour to 45 minutes, sometimes longer depending on the person, what I like to do is just sit with you. We have a bit of a conversation and really understanding what your main intentions are for the healing, what you want to be getting out of your healing with me, and really understanding what the core issues are. So people will come into me and they'll tell me what's going on for them in their life. Usually it starts out on a very surface level, and what my job is to help dig down that a little bit deeper to understand what the core I don't want to say issue or problem, because that's not necessarily always the case, but what it is that we're working with. What's the energy? Where is this soul sickness stemming from? So really digging down deep. And I may not get that deep in that initial conversation, that may come a little bit later on in the healing, but really understanding what the core focus is for your healing. So what I like to do is, through our conversation and listening to what is going on for you in a non-judgmental environment, and I think that's really important, especially coming from having a bit of a counselling background. I've done some counselling courses. So I think that that's really important that you know that it's a non-judgmental space. So anything that happens in this space you're here doing the work, and you're here to help on the journey, on your healing journey, and that is really important, and it's really important for me to help you with that and for you to feel safe. So after we have a conversation, what I do is I pick out some power words for you, so some things and some energies and some themes that we're working with for your actual healing itself. And then what I do is I actually create a healing mantra for you. So looking at what it is that we want to work on as a whole, really getting down to the nitty-gritty of that, and creating a mantra that will actually help with your healing after the fact as well, and help you be able to integrate that in. So once we've really come to an understanding with both of us of what it is that you're wanting to work on, then I get to on the table, and this is a really beautiful thing, because this is time that you actually get to take out for yourself for some of your own self-care, because a lot of people will just be able to lie and relax, have a bit of a nap. Some people like to meditate when they're on my table. There's no right or wrong. Some people may still feel very in their head and have a lot of monkey mind going, and that's okay as well. There is no right or wrong, but it's just time for you just to be able to lie and relax and enjoy. So what I do is I work a lot with our souls, with my soul team. So I've got some animal medicines that I work with, and obviously I work with spirit quite heavily, so they guide me to what it is that you're needing. And because I've been trained in a fair few different modalities, I combined a lot of those together. So what I do, what I start out with is I do a clear of the body. I have a look at where that energy is being stored, what is actually happening, and I look at actually clearing that out for you. I use a lot of sound medicine as well. So I've got some rattles, I've got some drums, I've got some medicine drums, some rain drums. So just again, depends on what I'm feeling drawn to help really clear the energy field, to clear where some of that pent up, stuck, stagnant energy is sitting, or trauma is sitting. So soul sickness happens essentially when we stop really listening to what it is that we're needing, and we stop refilling our own cup, and we allow ourselves to get caught in a bit of a story of what's going on, and we're not really wanting to look at the root or the core problem that has stemmed to what's happening for us in our lives. So that's my job, to help uncover that and help help uncover that, to allow those emotions to be able to come up to the surface so that it can be released for you. So I do a clear of the body. Then what I do is I do some journey work. So I actually go into in shamanic practices, we work a lot within the lower world, which is where we do a lot of our working with our animals, working with Mother Earth, really connecting in to that very beautiful, pure energy of connecting with Source. So connecting in with that, we'll do an animal power retrieval. So every animal, insect, creepy crawly, everything on Mother Earth's children, they have medicine for us. So we go in and we do a power animal retrieval that can actually help you with what you're needing at this particular moment with your medicine. So I've got a few different animals that I work with that I've had power animals over the years, and you will be gifted your own power animal that will help you on your healing journey, as long as you need them to. So I integrate that into the body and into the being and into the soul, to help with the rest of the harder work that we need to do. And what we do from there is we then go in and we have a look at retrieving and reclaiming pieces of your soul. So when we go through this lifetime, so what we need to remember is that we've signed up for these soul contracts. We are here, we are a spiritual being walking in a human world. So because we've signed up for these contracts, there's been lessons that we've said that, yep, we're going to work on these lessons, and these are the things that I want to achieve prior to actually coming to this place. I just lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, okay, back on point. So what we do is soul sickness. That's soul retrievals. That's what I was talking about. Yes. So what happens is anytime that we have an event in our life that is quite significant or traumatic, and when I say traumatic, it can be something so tiny and simple that you may not feel that it was traumatic at the time, and then looking back you can actually start to see how that was maybe a bit detrimental to you. So for example, one thing, to share an experience with you on some of the soul journey work that I've done is I really wanted to understand where a sense of abandonment has come from me. So I've really struggled with this feeling of being abandoned. I used to think that it was because I never knew my dad. I didn't know who he was. I still don't, still on that journey of finding that. I wasn't, in my mind I'm going, maybe it was because Mum decided when I was young that she wanted to focus on herself, which is a really beautiful thing. But she ended up moving actually here to Australia, because I'm from Canada. So she moved over here to Australia, and that, definitely caused a lot of fear around abandonment for me. But what I didn't actually realize until I really started doing this inner work and really journeying down where that fear of abandonment and not being good enough actually really came from was a time I would have been, when I did my journey, I think I was about maybe 4 or 5, and something had happened and Mum got really upset with me, and she looked at me and she was like, I'm trying to remember because I did this journey a little while ago, and this is actually really hard for me to talk about because again I have this need of never wanting to upset other people. So Mom, if you're watching this, please know that I love you. and that this is just me sharing my healing journey. And I definitely love everything about you, so I'm very grateful that you are my mom, so I do just want to share that. But where this came from was Mum had gotten quite upset with me, and she essentially told me to go to my room, and she was like, I don't know who you are, you're not my daughter, and she shut me in my room, which was really dark. Now, I didn't realize that this was, even though it wasn't a super traumatic event by any means, but it really upset me, because her just saying to me, I don't know who you are, you're not my daughter, even though it came from a place of, for her, I'm assuming that she was just feeling very overwhelmed with being a mom and trying to juggle everything. For me in that moment, it really made me go, well, how do I know, like, maybe I'm not good enough to be your daughter? And looking back on it now, I can really see clearly that that's really where a lot of this sense of being abandoned and not being good enough really came from. And she didn't do anything wrong in that moment. She was just being an overwhelmed parent, which I know that there's a lot of you out there who can relate with that. But for me, that moment, I left a part of my soul in that moment, because I no longer felt good enough. I didn't know who I was. I felt abandoned. And that's really where a lot of this started. And over the years, so then I would try to do things over the years to compensate for that, because I had lost a part of myself in that moment as a young child. So thank you for allowing me to share that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that what I've now done and with the work that I've done is I've been able to actually journey back to that time, understand that this is what has happened, and be able to actually reclaim that part of my soul that I lost in that time. And what that's helping me really understand now in my healing journey now is that I am good enough, and that I deserve to be loved, and I deserve to be happy, and I can stand in my power, and I can be the true version of myself, and I'm okay with that, and I can love myself because of that. So when I do my medicine women work with whoever I have on my table, and that might be you who's listening to this, you might be looking at coming to see me, and that's why you're watching this. But what I get to do is so that you don't necessarily have to go back and relive that moment that you may have lost a piece of your soul. I essentially go back for you, and I reclaim that part of your soul that you lost in that moment, and I reintegrate that into your being again, and reintegrate that into your soul. Okay? It is very powerful work. And it's I'm always very grateful the fact that people that work with me, that they trust me to be able to go into their stories and pick out those key moments of where they have felt some form of trauma, to be able to reintegrate that to help them be able to heal and to feel whole again. Okay? So I wanted to share that with you because I wanted you to understand the work that I do and how that is being able to be integrated back in for you. Okay? And I wanted you to understand that the traumatic event, it doesn't need to be something absolutely massive to be able to claim it as a traumatic event. Okay? Yeah. So that is a big part of what I do in the healing. So we'll do that a few times, and again, we will have created a plan prior to me actually going in and doing this healing work. And we don't need to know where I'm going, because Spirit will take us to where we need to be. So what I do when we sit down is understand, okay, well, what is it that we're wanting to work on? You know, so my one that I'm working on at the moment is stepping into my power. Like doing these videos, which is very stepping outside of my comfort zone. But, you know, so it may be that you're struggling with, I guess a common one that I'm seeing at the moment is, you know, you're just struggling with emotions that are coming up, or, you know, you're struggling with relationships. It could be that you're struggling with, you know, pains that you're having in your body. You may be, you know, you may have chronic back pain. You may have chronic gut issues. You know, it doesn't necessarily need to all be emotional, because anytime that we feel pain and things that are happening in our body, there's an emotional thing that is happening in underneath. So we don't need to know where we're going back to, because it might not even be from this lifetime that you're still carrying these soul sicknesses with you. It may be from a previous lifetime, okay? So my job is to help pinpoint where that has come from and reclaim those soul pieces, to reintegrate that in for you, so that you can then transition that into your being and be able to move forward with what that next step looks like for you in your life, okay? So again, all you're doing is you're laying on that table and you are enjoying yourself. You're enjoying the sounds of the music, you're enjoying the chanting, you're enjoying the energy, because it's coming from a place of love and healing, that you feel safe on that table, and you can allow yourself to relax, and I do the work for you at that stage. Okay, once I finish up the healing, we wrap it up. I cut cords that are no longer serving you. We clear everything out that no longer needs to be there, and what is ready to be moved at that time. We reintegrate soul pieces for you. Maybe 1, it may be 10. I haven't done 10 in one healing, but that would be a lot for one person. But you know, it may be a couple of different soul pieces in that healing. And we then clear that up. I make sure that anything that needs to be cleared is gone, and we then clear that space for you, and I bring you back to being present in the room. Once I do that, then we get to sit down and I go through with you what has come up through the healing. So what your power animal is, how you can actually work with that power animal, what that means for you, and how to integrate that into your day-to-day life to help with your healing journey. We also look at what soul pieces that have been restored for you, to really help you understand where maybe some of this stuff has started from. And once we do get that that information downloaded to you, the healing really starts to begin. Okay? So the whole process of that usually takes about 2 hours, okay? And once we start to wrap everything up and finish up, I do also give you a bit of homework as well, okay? Because like I said, I'm just here to help facilitate these things. I'm here to help reintegrate, and it is your job to then take that and to work with it. So the homework is something that you get to do at your own pace. The healings will last for at least 21 days that you will be integrating. So I always ask that for that first week, you just allow yourself to go with what is coming up for you, just to acknowledge it and to allow it to come through. Once you feel that it's time to do so, then you can start on some of the homework that has been brought forward for you. Okay, the homework that comes through, that is stuff that Spirit has dropped in and downloaded for me, and it is different for each person, so not everyone gets the same sort of homework. Okay, it's different for every person. Same as the healing yes, the structure may be the same, but every healing is very different, because I'm going to tailor it to what it is that you are needing. So with your healing as well, you also get a little intuitive blend oil. So what I do is I intuitively choose what oils that you are going to need to help with your healing process, so that over the 21 days after you've had your healing with me, that you are able to use the oil. You can use it during the day, at night, whatever you feel drawn to, but that will help you integrate that energy and integrate that healing into the body, and to help with the emotions that are going to arise for you and that are going to come up. Okay. Yeah, so I guess that is I guess what that medicine woman healing looks like for you. I didn't realize I'd be talking for 25 minutes around it, but thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions in regards to that, please do not hesitate to reach out. I'm contactable by email, by direct message. You can text me. You can also call me as well, if you feel that you would like to just have a bit more of a chat around what that would look like for you. I'm very, very grateful, and I love the work that I do because I get to help empower other people on their journey. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for allowing me to share part of my journey with you. And I hope that really helps you understand how deep that some of this work can really be, and that healing isn't always just fluffy and light, okay? Because we've got to be able to really heal and move forward, we really have to look at some of those other aspects that are a bit uncomfortable. And I'm here to help support you in that, and to help make sure that you feel safe and that you feel safe and supported through your journey. Okay, so thank you so much. Again, my name is Ashley, and I'm from Soaring Sparrow Healing. You can also find out more information on my website at soaringsparrow.com.au. Please feel free to pop a quick like and a subscribe down the bottom, as I will be continuing to build this channel and to build my page and really help others on their healing journey. So thank you.